This is not an irrelevant motion. There has never been any discussion on arguably one of the most important issues to face council in decades. To not discuss this issue is absurd at best and a dereliction of duty at worst.
So we're at City Hall. I'm Pat Maloney. This is Chip Martin, lfpress.com and the London Free Press. About 10 minutes ago, Joni Beckler's motion to ask the mayor to temporarily step aside from office amid criminal charges was endorsed by a committee. Interestingly, Chip, two things jump out. Number one, Fontana is a member of the committee, and he said, in the abundance of caution, I'm not going to vote on this as a sort of a perceived conflict of interest.
Yeah, he's the chair of the committee, and at the outset, when he realized this motion was coming, he says, I'm going to, out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to step aside.
I want to reserve the right to be able to seek some legal advice before council, just to confirm or not whether or not there is a conflict, and I appreciate and understand your intentions and that of the committee or in the future, and absolutely no problem, but I want to make sure.
And I think it's interesting, this is the day that Rob Ford ran into a jam in Toronto, and it may be hypersensitivity about conflict of interest and those sorts of issues that prompted it. We don't know, but he left and the debate took place in his absence.
Where was this abundance of caution 3 weeks ago when Nancy Branscombe tried to table a motion and he voted against it then?
Well, I think the Rob Ford thing, I'll bet you, was in the back of his mind today.
But so let's just talk about that for a moment then. If the Rob Ford matter sort of sunk his ship in Toronto, that vote from 3 weeks ago, is that going to come back to haunt anybody?
I don't know. It's things changing by the day, Patrick.
Because that was a different vote. That vote was, hey, should we talk about this?
Yes.
This vote today was specifically
this
you
was
should go. So
specific, and this was telegraphed, and this was known in advance. The other thing was Denise Brown.
Yes, Denise Brown, who in no uncertain terms told us, told many other media outlets, and got all the headlines. Time to go, Joe, has decided today. On second thought, maybe my friend Joe Fontana should stay in office.
I'm not saying that the mayor is guilty, and I'm certainly not saying that he's not guilty. It's not my job. That's not what I was elected to do. With all due respect to the motion that's coming forward, it is only symbolic, and I was questioning the legality of it. And I think it's time that we put the question forward and that we stop this and that we move on to the work that we were elected to do. This is taking way too much time. It's fueled by the media, and I think once we get this vote over and done with, hopefully we can get back to the work we were supposed to do. We have important work coming forward, the budget, but only because I'm questioning the legality of this, I will not be supporting the motion.
I was surprised Councillor Brown changed her mind, but that's her prerogative.
Interesting. She said that she was away in California and she was on the phone and she had emails and all that sort of stuff, and it was busy. Obviously, it's a preoccupation taking her from other work, and she would have seen this, I would think. And yet she decides that this thing is illegal in her mind, and she's not going to vote in favor of it. I just thought that was interesting. It sounded like she was moving away from the Fontana 8. Now she's back with it. No,
to say she was moving away from it is an understatement. For Bud Polhill to say, I'm not sure about this, that's one thing. Denise Brown made it very, very clear. It's time to go for the good of your family, for the good of the city. Now she does a complete, so she did a 180 then.
Yep.
Now she did another 180. I guess that's 360 altogether. But I'm going to be looking for some pretty clear answers from Denise, because this notion that, well, I'm not sure if it's legal or not, I thought it was pretty clear that this doesn't concern any sort of legal issues. There's nothing legal about it.
That's right. It was all politics, and she seemed to be, jettisoning herself from Joe. Now it looks like she's back. Strange times, Patrick.
Yeah, you live in interesting times. So anyway, thank you for watching, and watch for more here at lfpress.com.